Welcome to the video where I am acclimating all of these plants that I got from Ecuagenera. As you can see, they're pretty big plants, and that is a problem for me because I want to fit all of the plants in here so that I can treat them nicely, treat them well. So a lot of these are gonna have to get kicked out. Sorry. But I think oh my gosh, it's gonna be rough kicking some of these out because they kind of need to be in here, but it's okay. We'll choose the ones that don't really need to be in here. All right, first of all, I cleaned up the area, so no more papers everywhere. And the first one we're gonna work on is the Peru. It looks like it's doing pretty well, but we will make 100% sure of that. I'm sitting on the floor with the plant because I feel like that's just gonna be the easiest. I do want to film the process, but I also want to make sure I do a good job, and usually filming things makes it kind of harder, so I just want to be extra careful. So here we go. Everything is wrapped in moss. Perfect. Oh, those roots look good. Those look like some good roots to me. I'm moistening up some sphagnum moss so I can add it. Uh-oh. Oh no, I just ripped some roots off. Dang it. I'm not sure if this is rot, but I'm gonna hope that it's not, and I think the roots still look good. I'm gonna still pop them in sphagnum moss because it's antimicrobial, antibacterial. I just know it's good for sick plants, so we're gonna keep it in sphagnum moss, and one day I'll transfer it to soil. Okay, this is it right now, how we got it, and I hope that will be good. I'm gonna clear this up so that we don't mix it in with any of the other plants. And the moss did have a tiny bit of water, just a tiny bit. So it wasn't soaking. I think it was like the perfect amount of moisture to not rot the roots out, but to still keep them viable. Next is gonna be my warrocqueanum, and I'm trying to find a pot that will fit it. I think this one's good. Let's see what's going on in here. These roots look fantastic, even better than the last ones. This one did break, so I'm just gonna finish cutting it off. The rest of them look great. So this one I feel it can go into its chunky mix. I already made it. I don't know if this is chunky enough. I think that I should put in more pumice. I really want to make sure this is chunky enough. I was so close to putting this Anthurium in the mix that I'm making, but then I was like, wait, this plant needs to acclimate. It doesn't need to just be planted. So I decided that we're gonna put it in moss. So we're just packaging her back up in here. Nice and fluffy. We just need to make sure that she'll be happy here. This Anthurium is potted, looking so stunning. I'm never gonna get over it. So hopefully this doesn't lose all of its roots. Okay, I put it into this smaller orchid pot, but I think it will be better for the plant. Now we're gonna work on my mamei, and these bigger plants are the ones giving me the most stress because this root system needs to support this whole plant, and if something's going wrong with the root system. Like, this whole plant is in jeopardy. Obviously everything can be cut. Like, I really have this strong urge to just and root them like that, but we're going to refrain from doing that so that we can enjoy this plant being huge and massive, which is what I've always wanted. So these roots also look great. Okay, so I made these cups for the rest of the plants that I have. I just burned holes in them so that there could be more airflow and there's not going to be too much water. And now there's also kind of like a support, so we can put this plant in here. The roots are in here, kind of smushed, but I think that should be fine. For now, I'm just gonna leave it in here. Now I have my sodiroi. We're gonna do everything the same as before. Or maybe this one I will put into soil. Like, I feel like maybe I should be kind of switching it up. It just feels like now is not the time to experiment, you know what I mean? This one is in the worst shape of them all. I can definitely see these are rotted baby roots. See all of them? But the rest is fine. I think I might leave them because I think they're not caused from root rot. I think they're from desiccation. So they don't necessarily need to come off. They might start rotting though while they're in there. I kind of want to put this one directly into soil because this is such a large root system. I think I'm gonna put this one in soil right away. Maybe I'll still put it in this cup though and see how that works out. Yeah, I'm gonna try putting it in soil. So bringing back that really good soil now. This root system is very big. I just feel like it should be transferred over by now. Last time I did this though, it really killed my gloriosum. And I'll only get like the chunkiest parts of the mix. Now I need to get my little stabbing stick because the soil is not going in all the way here. So we have one plant in soil. This might be a huge mistake. I'm very, very worried. So let's move on to the next. El Choco Philodendron. I can already see this leaf is yellowing. Ugh, this is such a gorgeous plant. This one I think I'm gonna keep in moss. I feel like if the soil works out, I'm gonna regret not putting all of them in soil because it's gonna be awful to switch them from moss to soil. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. These roots look very not good. Oh no. Okay, this definitely needs to go in moss. I am gonna even put it in my good moss instead of keeping it in this. We're pulling out all the stops here. This is going in good moss. We're not using this. This root system is just not it. This is not it. Oh my god, this main root. I think it's done. These roots are for sure done. Well, I guess I'll cut them off. Dang it. So essentially, I'm just trying to root this in moss. If this was a healthy plant and I needed it to root, like I took a cutting, I would just put it in soil, no questions asked. But since this is a sickly plant, I'm putting in moss with a lot of questions, a lot of fears. I think we'll be fine. I'm doing the best that I can, and that's all I can ever do. Okay, normally I would not fill it any more than this, but I want to try and root this node up here as well. So I am gonna put more. This is what I did. I didn't put it on top, I just put it in the back. So it will kind of act as a moss pool, but there's gonna be a bunch of humidity. The reason why on all these cups I only put holes in the bottom half is so hopefully this could hold more humidity, and then this is gonna be kind of airy because that's where the roots are. So there we go. Here's my bulbophyllum. You can see it has a bunch of roots here, aerial roots. I have dealt with a lot of unrooted orchids. I have a bulbophyllum that was unrooted as well, and it's pretty simple. You just throw them in moss and they'll grow like nothing pretty much. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do today. Roots looking fine. Unless this turns out to be like a really difficult orchid, I found that orchids are just so much easier to deal with, at least the ones that I've had to deal with, because I'm sure there are difficult orchids. I'm very excited to have this orchid. I have been thinking about it for so long. They usually do better in pots that are wide and shallow. I have this one, not wide and shallow. I have these, which are literally like pretty much the same size as this, but this one gets smaller, but it's gonna keep growing in a line like this. And it's already kind of too big for this pot. I don't really know what to do. I guess I'll keep it shallow in this pot so I won't fill it up all the way. Okay, the plant didn't fit in deep, so it's still tall up in here, but I'll find a suitable pot soon. But for now, this is the new home. Now we're done with the Ecuagenera stuff. So here's my Hoya rotundiflora, and I'm excited to see how this guy is doing. Oh, it's in a cute little pot. I think I'll keep it in this pot for now. Okay, that's fine. Now this Huperzia, I don't know what I'm gonna do with. I'm going to have to find a way to work with it. But for now, I think I'm just gonna cut this open so that I can give it water. For today, this is just gonna be how it lives. And I'm gonna put a little hanger on it. Oh, here we go. This is how she's gonna live for now. In a little thing. Okay, let's find these guys some homes. I'm not sure why I didn't record a video, but this is a photo of the 3 big philodendrons. This is the very next day after I staked them up, so they were still very floppy. It's a full week since these plants have been starting to acclimate and everything, so I do want to show you them. And I didn't show you guys the staking process in the first part of this video because it's very stressful and it makes it a lot more difficult when you film things on camera. So I can show you what I did right now though. Not only did I stake every leaf, which you can see, for some of them, I think only this one actually, I had to attach it to the top of the shelf so it wouldn't fall down and kind of affect the other plants. I wanted them each to be able to get light, and if there was a floppy leaf in front of another plant, that wouldn't have worked. So that's also why I did stake them. This one is the one that I went the most crazy on the staking, but wow, I haven't looked at these plants until right now because, well, I've obviously been keeping an eye on them, keeping them watered. So this one is the sodiroi, I believe. Sodiroi AF. So it's not an actual sodiroi, which I don't know why I thought it would look more like a sodiroi, but here we go. And the leaves do still feel kind of flimsy, but I staked every single leaf up. I also used this tape. It's just like very unsticky tape, honestly, and I raveled it up a lot. This as you can see, is very, like, it's standing up very straight. I'm so happy. It really hydrated very well. They all used to be like this one leaf right here. So you can really see the difference of this standing up completely straight and this is just flopped over. And this one is the one I was most nervous about because they put it in soil right away. So I did put it in just a little bit of water just to keep it constantly hydrated, because I feel like this soil mix doesn't hold as much water as the sphagnum moss does. So I just wanted to be sure that I would be completely hydrated. And also it didn't help that I put I put drainage holes in here thinking I was going to put moss, but so that did cause the soil to dry out even faster, I believe. So that water was really kind of necessary, I think. So let me unwrap this, and it could take a while, but I just really want to see how the plant is doing without all the help of these stakes and everything. That looks amazing. Amazing. It really worked. I don't know if it would have worked without putting the stakes up. It probably would have, but I don't know. I just felt a lot more comfortable staking everything up so that everything wasn't flopped over. Every leaf was getting enough light. Otherwise, you can see this leaf is not facing anywhere towards the light source. So that's what I was worried would happen. Let's see, this one also very good. And then the last two, I'm not so sure about. These two right here, I think they are good, but they're not as great. These are the older leaves. This leaf is gonna fall off. I'm just gonna leave it staked like this because it's just gonna flop on the floor. I don't want to remove it because the plant could still be using the nutrients from this leaf. And I'm not worried about any pests coming in here, but I think I will remove this leaf from its stake. I'm just gonna put this back in here, and I want this to be a lot more upright. So probably like that. I think looks a lot better. But this one, I guess I'll put it more upright too. So I'll move this more to the center. And when I put the dowels in, these stakes also, I was very, very careful not to hit the roots. Since this cup is clear, I made sure to put all of the stakes on the edge of the cup so that I could see if there was any roots I was gonna hit. So I was very careful not to gouge at the roots. But this one is looking fantastic. It's doing great. I'm not sure how the roots are looking. They're kind of really in there. The roots are probably doing fine. If the plant is doing this well, I would feel more comfortable if the plant started growing new roots instead of just, you know, having having the ones that it has. But I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. And I'm gonna continue keeping it in this cabinet. All right, so next, this is the mamei, and as you can see, it looks fantastic. Everything about it is great. Just the oldest leaf is yellowing, that's fine. It looks so great. This one was the healthiest when it got to me. It was the least dehydrated, and it really shows in how the plant looks right now. The only thing that I did was put a stake to be able to hold the plant upright. That's literally the only thing I had to do. You can see right here, the humidity in the cabinet is helping it grow new aerial roots right here, which is very good sign that the plant likes it. And this one I have in moss. I watered it, fully drenched it in water only once throughout this whole week, and the rest of the time I would kind of monitor the moss to make sure that it wasn't drying out. And if it was a little bit dry, I would get my mister, which is now empty, just mist it, and that's how I would keep it moist. So yeah, this plant is doing the best out of all of them. It looks fantastic. It is such a gorgeous plant, and I'm so excited. The only thing now is that I'm gonna have to transfer it from moss to soil. And I kind of wish that I just put it in soil right away like I did the other one. I knew this was gonna happen. I told you guys this was gonna happen, but it's okay. I'm not sure if this plant is rehydrated at all. As you saw, it didn't really have any roots, and that is a very scary thing when you have such a huge plant and it has no support from a root system. Well, a little tiny root system, but I'm going to unhook it. Since I showed you I did have to hook it up for it to stay up. Oh, and it's staying up. That is a great sign. And oh no, no, it's not staying up. That's a bad sign. Oh no, no, no. At least the leaves aren't so floppy as they were before. This leaf is staying upright. It might just be because of this though. I don't want to remove the stakes because I don't think it's gonna work out. If I remove them, maybe this one would stay up. Okay, let's test it out on the second oldest leaf. The reason I'm choosing the second oldest leaf is because it's smaller, so it's not as much weight for the stem to hold up, and it looks pretty, you know, pretty stable I would say. So let's unravel it. All right, it is pretty stable. It is pretty stable. It just needs to stake still to kind of hold it in the right position. I'm gonna actually move it to back over here where it was right away. We're not gonna remove it any further, and I'm gonna hang it back up. So we're just gonna keep pretending that everything is okay with the leaf hanging like this. At least we know that it's better than it was, but it's just not the best. It's such a beautiful plant and it's doing the worst. So next, let's take a look at my Anthurium, which I have right above here, but I'll bring it down so we can look at it. So we can see the roots here. They look very healthy. And this one didn't really need to be, it was pretty healthy when I got it. So it didn't really need to be acclimated that much, but you can definitely see the damage now on it. It's a little more difficult to see damage like as soon as you get the plant. It kind of shows up as the plant heals. So the last leaf did die. Let's see. I don't think we're able to remove it just, oh, uh-oh. Well, the stem is still on there. I'll pull it off. So that came off, and yeah, everything else looks really good. And I don't know when to transfer this to soil either. I'm kind of regretting putting any of them into moss, even though I know it was very helpful for the plant. So this one's good. Maybe I'll give all these plants a month, and then the ones that are healthy, I'll take them out of my cabinet. But this one for now is gonna stay. Same thing. I did the same thing with the moss, wetting the moss and everything. So it's good, it's solid. And up here we have my my obliqua, and it's been doing very well. This has recently come on the moss. It looks like spider webs. I think it's some kind of mold, but I don't think it's been affecting the plant negatively. At least I hope not. But I think that just shows you how much humidity we're giving it. So I have it right in front of my humidifier. So the humidifier does like shh, shh, like that. It's intermittent. And I always have this fan on high so that I'm trying not to have, you know, the humidity just like water sitting on the plants. So I have that fan on high. Yeah, I think this has been doing really well. Let's bring it down to look at it better. It's looking pretty good. I'm actually not sure what this white is, but I feel like it's from the water, like some kind of mineral maybe. And this leaf is looking really good. This leaf is continuing to yellow. That's okay. And these ones have completely yellowed and everything, which obviously I don't mind. I don't really care if plants don't look well as long as their roots are doing good. And from what I can see, I have a big gap right there, but that's okay in moss. You can see the roots are looking pretty good. So that is fantastic. So only one of these plants is looking not the best. So here's my Bulbophyllum. Today is watering day. The moss is pretty dry. It's been needing watering every 4 days and then occasional misting. I did change the pot I put it in. I found this. I think it's for food, but it's perfect for my Bulbophyllum. It has so much airy holes in it, and it has this little layer which I like to keep water in. I think that the bulbs have been dehydrating a little bit still, so I'm just waiting for the roots to kind of take root and everything, but it's looking really great. You can see it's extremely healthy, exactly what I expected. Not a worry at all. For now, it's just staying up here. Probably not getting enough light, to be honest. And I did hang my Huperzia right here. I can't tell if it's looking happier, but I feel like it is. It's a lot more like fluffed out. It's a lot more puffed out, if that makes any sense. I specifically bought this pot for hanging upside down plants. It's not the prettiest, but I do not care. It was a little difficult to get my Huperzia in it. I had to wrap it in the tissue paper that came with my other plants. I wrapped it and I had to pull it through that little hole, and I had to make this hanger, which was kind of difficult. But this pot, I think it's supposed to hold a Christmas tree in it, so it's supposed to be facing up like this, but it has that base, it comes off. So the reason I like it is because it doesn't have an open top and it has a lid, and I think it's ceramic, so it's not losing water very quickly. So there's nowhere for the water to evaporate unless it's coming from out there, and I love it a lot. The only problem is that I have to literally get a step ladder to be able to mist the plant, and I mist it every 3 days. I don't think I'm ever gonna have to fully submerge it in water if I just keep misting it. Yeah, it's not that bad. It hasn't dried out at all yet, and I'm hoping I can keep it from ever drying out. So there it is. I have a beautiful philodendron back watering here. They're kind of too big for this, but they need to stay in here for now. I do want to say I keep the humidifier on pretty much all day. No, I'll fill it once a day and that's it. When it runs out, it runs out. This is the little humidifier I use, and it has the fan going at the same time. It does empty out in like half a day, but I love it. It's definitely not gonna last forever. It might last for maybe a whole entire year, and it's definitely gonna crap out. It's not, you know, it's in very harsh conditions. It's in a very extremely humid environment. Like, we have maybe 92% humidity right now. So you can see it gets to the highs of 99%. So it's very, you know, humid, and electronics don't do super well in humidity like that. But I will link it for you guys because some of you have been asking what I think about it. So don't expect it to last forever. It's pretty cheap too, so you get what you pay for, but yeah, I like it a lot. It does its job. It's also the perfect size for this cabinet, and my plants obviously are doing really well. Okay everyone, you may not believe it, but it is already the 1 month update for these plants. It's been a month, a full entire month since I've gotten these, and it's time to show you guys the last update for this video. So starting off, we have the Elizabeth Ann Buckleberry Bulbophyllum. It has new roots shooting out, and it also has a new growth coming out as well. Here it is. I'll give you guys a better view of it because it is growing in there. It is chunky. It's looking great. I reduced the amount of sphagnum moss in here. I think it's perfect. And I don't keep it in here, but just for this show and tell, I have it in here because we got to keep them all together. Next, we have the Anthurium warrocqueanum. And although it may not be looking so great on the leaf aspect of it, there are little nubbles of roots coming out, and that's all I could want. So for the month, this thing has been acclimating, growing a new root system, and that is exactly what I wanted for this plant. So maybe I can move it out of humidity, and I do want to transfer it over to soil. I think now is around the time I should be doing that. Next here, this big guy is my sodiroi AF. So it's not a sodiroi. Doesn't really even look like one, but it's doing really well. It has this leaf, which has been unfurling for quite a while. It's taking its sweet time, but that's okay. All of these plants have a bunch of aerial roots growing out, so they're doing great. There's also this new stem kind of getting ready to grow. Maybe one day this will unfurl. I'm letting it take its time. There we have it. Pretty big. And this is the one that I put in soil. You could see there's a bunch of new roots growing out. I've been watering it as if it's already acclimated. So the soil right now is dry. It's due for watering today, and it's been doing really well. So I think that this one, if any of them I'm confident about taking out of this humidifier, this cabinet, it's this plant. This plant is doing extremely well. I might take it out today even. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. And next is my mamei. And look at this gorgeous new leaf this girl put out. It's so teeny tiny. I'm not sure if it will get bigger, but it's grown out. On all of these, I've cut back the watering, so the moss is a little bit damp. It's not crispy yet, but I've been waiting for this point on all my plants before watering. There's a ton of new root growth, and you can compare it to the dead roots from when I first got it. So the new roots look so healthy, so good. They're pink, actually, reddish, and you can see all of these aerial roots growing in. So it looks very good, very good. I'm very happy. This one is coming out today, actually, because this new leaf is too tall. It doesn't fit in here anymore, but I'm not mad about that. So she's staying out. Here we have my El Choco Philodendron. This one, as you've known, has been doing the worst of them all, but even saying that, it's doing really, really well. So the new, if you remember, you guys probably just recently saw it. For me, it was a month ago. But when I potted this up, I specifically put the moss up higher around the stem, which I normally wouldn't do, but I did that so that it could hopefully grow out some aerial roots, and it did. It worked so amazingly. There's a whole new root system growing out of that single node, so it's looking really fantastic. Yeah, the root system is just looking super, super great. I think all of these, honestly, I can pot into soil now. So I might be doing that in a different video, but this is just the 1 month update. And I think this plant looks so stunning, so amazing. I can't wait until the new leaf grows in. Here it is right here. I was worried because this caterpillar dried up, but seems to be fine. There's still a new leaf coming in, and that's all I could have wanted. So I'm very excited for all of these plants. And as you may be aware, we have one last plant to go over. Here is my Huperzia. I don't remember the rest of the name, but I'll have it written so you guys can know. But she's looking so great. I can't really tell if she's grown, but she's definitely gotten fluffier. And I feel like she has grown, but something I've noticed though is that a lot of the leaves have dried out. Even at the base, some of the growth points have kind of withered away. I'm attributing it to its transportation and everything. It could definitely be from me, but I'm not sure. It might just be delayed physical damage. You know, kind of like how the warrocqueanum is looking. That was definitely not me, but the damage shows up later, so I'm hoping it's that. But I specifically brought out my humidifier, cleaned it thoroughly. It's working so amazingly. I took such a long time to clean it, but I specifically brought this out for this beautiful Huperzia, and I hope it loves it. So there we have it. And lastly, we have the obliqua, which is pretty much doing exactly the same. I just removed the old leaves and it looks like this root came off. These roots came off, which I don't know, I just noticed that right now, honestly. And this is getting really long, so we got a runner and no leaf. But yeah, it's pretty much doing exactly the same. That is all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked the updates. I know it made the video take a lot longer to come out, but thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!